Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap Session for Wednesday, February the 15th, 2017. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning that we get together in these go-to sessions to take a look at the market, macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. This is a subscription room. If you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website. There's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. It is a group of retail traders that get together in these pre-market sessions, and then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the trading day. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. Okay, so let's take a look at the news quickly. We do have a lot of news today. At 8:30 Eastern, we had manufacturing sales for Canada. We had CPI, core CPI for U.S., core retail sales, and retail sales month over month, and Empire State Manufacturing Tax. And you can see that all the news was positive. We had a beat on all the expected forecasts. 9:15 this morning, we have capacity utilization rate, industrial production out of the U.S., expected to be 75.6 for capacity utilization, 0.1 for industrial production. 9:30, we have Great Britain CB leading index. Usually I don't mention Britain news that much, but considering that we've got Brexit, their CB leading index is going to be something we want to watch. But the big news, of course, again, is this is the second day that Yellen is testifying, and it did give us some volatility yesterday. Anticipated it will give us volatility again today, depending on what she says. The anticipation is that we are going to see a rate increase in March, but we thought that the last one too. We'll have to wait to see. Also at 10 o'clock Eastern, we have business inventories and NAHB housing market index. And then again, more news at 10:30 with the crude oil inventories. And then we've got Fed member Harker speaking at 12:45. So, and you know, Yellen's probably going to testify for several hours. So just be careful this morning, as it could be quite volatile. Taking a look at yesterday. Yesterday, our main hypothesis was a neutral day. Now I had Hypo 1 and Hypo 2. My Hypo 1 was a move down and then a rotation up through to the upper distribution and chop around. But we were anticipating both the overnight high and the overnight low being taken out, because we had a 4 1/4 point range in the overnight last night. And then our Hypo 3 was an extension of the all-time high and a move up into that daily ATR upside target, which was up at 38.75. We got as high as 38.50. Remember, we also had that measured move that we took out at the 30.75. We did get a neutral extreme day. I was thinking that the neutral extreme was going to be to the downside, and that we would have stopped the one-time framing up that we've been seeing because of the gap situation, but we didn't see that. We saw the neutral extreme go to the upside, went in and put a new all-time high in the RTH at 23.3775. And then in the Globex, anytime you're getting a neutral extreme day, you're looking for continuation in the Globex. And what did we do? We, in the Globex up, oops, wrong one. The Globex opened up. We came back down into the HVN from the upper distribution, bounced off of that 34.50. One tick below it, failed auction to the low side, and then we rotate back up and we go and put a new all-time high up here at the 23.40. And since then, we've just been slowly drifting back into the high volume node here. You can see that Below this 31, we've got this low volume node that goes all the way down here to basically 27.25, and that basically comes back into the Globex session that we had prior to yesterday coming in. So if we can break below that 27, we should come down and test this 22.75, 23 area. You notice that the VPOCs for the last 2 days did not shift up with us. We had the VPOC down at the 22.75 on the double distribution day, and we closed in the upper distribution on Monday, but the VPOC did not shift up. Yesterday we had a neutral extreme day, and the VPOC was at 22.75. So we have strong price acceptance down there at the 22.75, even though that we've rotated back up. So I'm using that 27 as a key line in the sand to have a rotation back into balance in around this 22.75. But that's getting ahead of myself. Let's just take a step back, as I like to do each day. I like to start my day with a basic candlestick chart. I start on the monthly. I use a 9 EMA, a 20 SMA as my moving averages. I want to see how we are and what strength of the trend is on each time frame. So you can see on the monthly, you have a nice multi-year upward trend. It's challenged at the end of 15, beginning of 16. Then we get this continuation pattern, and then we get this falling 3 candlestick, which is a continuation pattern on the monthly. And we talked about this and saying that this is going to set up for new all-time highs. And what do? We go up and we get this continuation trend. We've got slope and separation to the upside, and the trend is very much to the upside still. Same thing on the weekly. You've got good slope, good separation. Trend is up on the weekly. Going to the daily, same thing. We've got a technical gap here, but we do not have an inside bar yet, so this could get continuation, although we are getting a bit of a move away from the 9 EMA and creating this technical gap. And this is likely to close through time and price and close somewhere in around that 21 area, 21 to 22 area. But right now, we've got trend is very much to the upside on the daily. Going to the intraday, we did get the FUBAR Mr. Sneaky. They popped up to make a new high in the Globex, and what do? We come back down and close this technical gap, and we're testing the 9 EMA right now. If we get below the 9 EMA, I'd be looking for a move back to the 20 SMA. Where does that take us? It takes us back to the 2 days of naked VPOC. Well, it's only 1 day naked VPOC because we did cover it yesterday, but yesterday's naked VPOC down there at the 22.75. Going to the 1 hour, you can see that we did. Here's another good example of the FUBAR Mr. Sneaky, and then the technical gap close, and this one gave us continuation down. Now we're below the 9 and the 20, and we are challenging the trend on the 1 hour. Going to the 30-minute, we now get acceleration to the downside. We're now getting slope and separation. As we move down in our time frames, we're seeing that we're getting acceleration of possible change of trend. You can see that we have a naked cross down here at the 23.24.75. That coincides with, if we get below that 27, move back towards that 22.75 naked VPOC, and also will be a naked close. A close of the naked cross as well. Going to the 15-minute, you can see the trend is accelerating. When we started the trend down, they tried to reverse it. They failed to get above the 20. What do? We get the continuation and the acceleration down on the trend. And then last but not least, the 5-minute, you can see that we've got good slope, good separation to the downside. So as we move from the larger time frame to the smaller time frame, we're seeing a change of the trend, but that could just as easily come down and bounce off of the longer time frame upward trend. So, I mean, don't get your short hat on too quickly. Taking a look at the overall structure, we had this balance that we were in for quite some time. Our microcomposite VPOC was at 22.65. Then we had our breakout day. We created that island top, and created the microcomposite VPOC on that 3-day island top at 2289.50. They gap down. Where did they come back? They come back to the microcomposite VPOC, find the buyers, okay, accept price higher outside of the value up here at the 76 area, and then we get our gap. And we gap up back into the island top. What do? We accept price. The 4-day microcomposite VPOC coincides with the 3-day island top VPOC, and then we start our gap. And we gap up. We get our first gap. We get our second gap. We're in price discovery. We get our third gap, and now we have a 2-day. It's not quite balanced, but we do have the 2-day microcomposite VPOC at the 23. With the LVN at 29. I'm using 27 because 27 puts us back inside of the value area of the 2-day, and it puts us below that low volume range, which goes from 31 down to 27. But there's not much to guide us up here other than the 2-day volume. Because of the fact that this is, we're at all-time new highs. One thing to note is that our all-time high in the regular trading hours is 37.75. We put in a all-time high in the Globex last night at 22.40. You know that I look at that unequalized high that has a very high probability of being taken out. It's very rare that you put all-time highs in the Globex and they remain there. The RTH traders tend to go up and challenge that all-time high, and that you'll have to do your homework on that and back test it. But trust me, very rare that you see a all-time high that holds that's put in the Globex. Okay, so let's take a look at the overnight and start putting our levels in. So as it stands right now, we are trading near the overnight lows, so we could put more overnight lows in. So our overnight high and our all-time high is at 23.40. I'm going to do it this way because I don't want to mess that button up. Come on. Oh, come on. Let me just get rid of this for a second. There we go. Okay, so our all-time high and our overnight high is the same. Currently right now, this could change because we're trading only one tick above it, but our current overnight low is 31.75. I doubt that this is going to hold, but again, we have to do our homework and then just adjust. The VPOC is not likely to shift. It's at 36.50. And we have a bit of an LVN here at 33.75, but I'm going to be using the value area high as a trade level. And then I'm going to be using the 27 as my key line in the sand. And then we've got the target below, which is the open from yesterday at 23.75 and the 22.75 naked VPOC and the 2-day microcomposite VPOC. And then just below, we've got the IB and the value area low. More importantly, we've got this double bottom down here at 19.75. So we've created a weak low here on that when we broke and failed to get continuation to the downside. I really did think that if you go back to yesterday's video, we were talking about a neutral day. I was expecting the neutral extreme, if it happened, to come to the downside and a move down towards that 12.75. It didn't happen. But anyway, we do have that weak low. I'm going to actually use a small range between the 1975 and 1850. I really want to break below the 1850 and get below Monday's range low. And then we've got the gap zone below. Our range high from Friday was 1575. The mid of the gap zone is 17 and a quarter, so I'll be targeting that 17 and a quarter. If you want to front run this, you could front run it with the break of the 20 and a quarter if you're not already short. But anything below 27, I'm going to be looking to be short below there for the rotation back down to the two-day balance. We have 3 gaps. We didn't get the 4th exhaustion gap, but this market's moved pretty quick. So I'm looking for them to come back and find buyers with more conviction, and I'm looking for them to come back down to the 22, if not down here to the 1275. Our range yesterday was 18 points, both for the RTH and the full session. So our 20-period daily ATR is running at 1550. So off of the high overnight of 2240, take off the 1550. Our daily downside ATR target has already been, that's not right, 2340 minus 1550. Our daily downside ATR target is 2450. So that's just above the microcomposites and right above that naked cross that we had on the 15-minute. And then, currently off of the overnight low, which just shifted down one more tick, and it's likely to shift even more, but 3150 plus 1550, our upside daily ATR target takes us up to 47. Okay, then we have our range high at 37.75, and all our levels remain the same down here. So no more information that we need from the Globex, so we can get rid of this, extend this out here. Again, there's not a lot to guide us as in terms of long-term price structure, so we do have to take that into consideration and use the shorter time frame. So we're currently trading right now at 32.50, and we're sitting right on, just right on top of the value from yesterday. So what is my hypothesis for the day? My main hypothesis for the day is a open auction in range, a push up into the naked close. Our close from yesterday was 37 and a quarter. Possibly a false breakout and a move to take out the all-time high and the overnight high, but I'm looking for responsive sellers to step in here, rotate us back down towards the 27 area, chop in this low volume node as we auction this territory, and then fail and push down and come down into the lower distribution and close somewhere down here in the lower distribution near the 2-day VPOC. I'm looking for basically a possible inside day, but range bound from yesterday. My secondary hypothesis is an open auction in range, a move down, chop in the low volume node as we auction that off, push down into the 22, and then find buyers, start moving up, come up into the 27 or into the 31 area, come back down, put a higher low in, and then get continuation up and go and make a new high and close somewhere between the 2340 and the 2348. So that's Hypo 2. Hypo 3 is a open auction in range, fail to get below the 27, leaving that naked VPOC alone, pushing up into the range high, chopping between the range high and the 2340, and then getting a continuation day up and going and making new all-time highs and possibly getting into the 23 50 areas. That's hypo 3. And then hypo 4 is an open auction in range, failure to break out of the range, come down into the 23, shop around in this area, and then fail and come down and close somewhere down here in the 23.1275. Why do we create multiple hypotheses? Well, we don't know what the day is going to bring us. All we know is we can put a plan in place, have those 4 main hypotheses that we can react to and the levels where we'll react on them, and then let the market play out and show us what it's doing, and then take the plan that best adapts to that. We don't try to predict the market. We simply try to have a plan in place for what the auction gives us. So those are my 4 main hypotheses. Gold on the news came back down. We talked about this, about coming down to the microcomposite VPOC. Let me bring, don't freeze up on me. It's going to freeze up for a minute. Our most traded price going all the way back to October 2008 is down here at the 1218.60. We're currently trading right now. We're trading 21. We did come down the low so far in the Globex. Well, now it's in the day session. On that news, we got down to the 1750. So they came down to the 1750, found the buyers. We expected them to find buyers, and now they're rotating back up. Watch this 2250 area. If we can get back above the 22, look for them to challenge the value area high. I'm sorry, the value area low at 2470, but I'd be looking for a move up here. I'm going to bring this back into, you can see that the 5-day VPOC, microcomposite VPOC, is up here at 27. Between 27 and 28 will be balancing if we can get back above the 22. If we fail to get back above the 22.70 area, maybe even the 23.30 area, look for them to rotate back and chop around this 12.18.60, possibly coming back down here to the 12.15. Anything below the 12.11 brings in a larger move down, and the main target below will be the 12.0650 and the 11.95, but the big target, once we break below that 1200, is going to be back down here where we started this last run up, this last leg up, down at the microcomposite VPOC at 1192.10. That's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Going to go ahead and close this down and open the room for the members.